Hey, everybody, it's Dave here. Hey, Duncan. Hey, Cause and Effect. Welcome for joining me, or thank you for joining me. We're not quite at the 2-minute morning yet, but it's time to get going. Oh, brother. I'm streaming via YouTube, so I'm probably a little bit behind everybody that's watching it live. I will try to keep everything in perspective. I'm showing 4th and 7, 253, counting down, 250 for Tennessee. They got to go for it. We'll see how this goes. How it goes. All right. Levis is doing his tap on a helmet. He drops back and flushed out of the pocket. Guns it. No, goes nowhere. Into the ground. Yes. Hey, stream quality's gone down. What the heck? Internet. You suck. All right. I wish it was better, but it is not. Not right now. It's like everybody's watching Netflix or something. All right. Get the tweet out. Good to go. Good to go. Oh, need to do that. All right, everybody. What do you thought so far? Time for Mullins. I believe so there, George. At least save him. He's still gimping. He had his ankle twisted on that last play where he went down, got sacked. I believe we'll find out it's his ankle versus his knee. We're talking about Sam Darnold, of course. But let's hope. Mini defense has been exposed. I don't know about being exposed. They went, hey there, Tim. They went for a lot of big play, big reward type things, and they got burned on a couple of them. How would you say they got exposed there, George? Just out of curiosity. And we're back. We got 3rd down. All right. Hey there, Chuck. Chris says Chicago Bears are dumb. Did they end up losing? Last I looked, they were behind by 1 point. And I wouldn't doubt that they lost. That wouldn't surprise me whatsoever. And they did lose 20-19. Damn it. FTP. I was hoping they'd pull that one out. Obviously, they didn't. But anyways. Hey, Peter, how you doing? We have Chuck and we have Peter just joined us. Hopefully, everybody's doing better and that their hearts aren't pounding out of their chest because the Vikings have tried to give this away. What the hell was that? Darnold dumping it into the ground. All right. Metellus and Bynum just play like crap. Yeah, Chuck, they did. I know Metellus on that one took the wrong angle and Bynum on another. Chris says the Bears lost on a last-second field goal getting blocked. Oh, my. I feel for Bears fans. They're going through hell. Our Darters, welcome to the show. Yeah, Darnold. Oh. Okay. No receiver in the area. Intentional grounding on Darnold. Yes. march the punt back 10 yards. Now, hopefully, Mr. Wright will pin another one inside the 2 or so. We shall see. Jason, yes, I agree. They always do. And he boots it out inside the 20. That'll work. That'll work. We're at a 99.7% win percentage. It's going to happen. But, oh well. Hey, we're at the 2-minute rolling. Time for the rolling. Welcome to Vikings First and SKOLs, live at the 2-minute warning. Next. And there we go. Go back to the single screen. Taysom Hill had 7 carries, 138 yards, and 3 TDs, 8 catches for 50. Also threw an interception, lost the fumble. Just a legendary stat line. Good one, Chris. Appreciate that. Our Darnold offense has no killer instinct. Well, they've sure blown it a few times. And has Naylor forgotten how to catch a football or what? And you wonder why this team makes us drink. George, this team will not last in the playoffs. Probably not. But you never know. Be nice. David L. says, be nice. Give the defense a chance to catch their breath. It would be nice. Have we had that very, very many long time consuming drives today? I don't think so. Absolutely. And we're in a commercial timeout, which is always wonderful. And you get to watch stupid Little Caesars commercials. Chris Thompson, Jalen Naylor, current day Troy Williamson. I don't know. He was great early in the season. What the heck has happened to him? He's dropped balls in 2 consecutive games. And he dropped a sure touchdown today. When it goes through, doesn't even touch his hands, hits him in the chest. That's crazy. All right. Dave L says, think teams will start going long against us. They very well may. Steve Waterhouse, welcome to the show. The run game has left a lot of beat to be desired today. Yeah, it has. Hey, how about that? Harrison Hitman Smith was his 36th interception of his career. Good for the old man. I want them to get a good, but JJ will take us to the promised land once or more than once. Yes, I hope so. Hey, and he set a record today that there's going to be a long time before somebody beats. He has made more yards in his first 5 seasons than anybody. Absolutely anybody in NFL history. And that's crazy. And you got to remember, he missed half of last season. What's in the tumbler? It is some spicy tomato juice splashed onto a whole ton of vodka. Is what it is. Yes, Dave L., they needed that. Darnold still under center. Handed it off to Jonesy. This is crazy. Now, hey, we have Sal joining us. Absolutely fantastic with her librarian look.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing today?
Oh my God, I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Good to see you survived your cancer scare, and sorry to hear about you being widowed.
Yeah, life has came at me really fast this week. I've had a lot of changes, but it's all going to work out because the Vikings won today. Sam Darnold is back, so if I can survive anything as long as that's waiting on the other side.
Well, I've still got showing a minute 5 left. So,
Okay, cool. I'm putting it up on my phone right now. Hi guys, we got a lot of peeps here, huh?
yeah, we do. This is the post game where everybody gets to react to the game, which is absolutely wonderful. And we're running the clock out. Going to
Oh,
call
okay. I got 20.
timeout. 20
What do you
seconds
have?
left.
Okay, cool.
I'm streaming via YouTube, so I'm behind anybody watching it live.
George, those rims. Yeah, do you like them? Are they dirty?
No, they don't look dirty.
They're not real. They're blue light lenses, so they probably, yeah. They're multi-purpose.
Gotcha.
They're, for one, disguise that I don't have any makeup on, so I look a little better. Or not necessarily better, just it's a little blurrier. And then I have I have a paper that I'm writing, so
Gotcha.
blue lights hurt my head less. Anyways, that's more information than anyone needed.
War paint is what I learned makeup is called.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's final. Vikings win. Vikings win. Final score, Minnesota Vikings 23, Tennessee 13. And we go to 8-2, people. 8-2. Take that to the bank. As we went over the rest of the NFC North, the Bears had a field goal blocked at the final seconds that would have won them the game. They lost to that team from Wisconsin, FTB, 20-19. And, of course, the Detroit Lions did what we should have last week and beat the Jaguars 52-6. They're unbelievable.
I know. Like 50-something points in fantasy for Jared Goff today, who I was on my bench.
Oh,
normally I know
yeah.
those fantasy teams, I get that, and I never do this, but it's against Dustin Baker for first place, so it's a big deal.
Mm-hmm. And as Chuck says, 8-2. Who would have called that? Nobody saw that coming. Nobody. Absolutely nobody. Hey, Freddie, SKOL baby. Yeah, you got it. Duncan says kittens are scary. They are, unfortunately, and it is what it is. They will. They are, per Aaron Schatz of DVO Creation fame, the best team in the NFL right now. And it's not even close.
Road to the Super Bowl goes through the litter box.
Yep, that's right. You got that right. So we'll see. Chevy Chase says, still winning. Yes, we are. All right, let's look at the box score to check out who did what today. Oh, there's Drew.
I got to show Drew because she might be getting adopted tomorrow, so we might not see Drew again.
Ooh. She's adorable, though.
Her up here.
Mm-hmm.
She's at a meeting tomorrow with a new family, and they have a Frenchie, so.
Gotcha. All right. Sam Darnold threw 20 for 32, 246 yards, 7.7 yard average, 2 TDs, no interception, and finished with a 107.0 QB rating. Do you think he got right?
Me? Oh, yeah. I think that he's good. I mean, oh my God, why am I so thrown off by this? I thought he looked excellent today. He made good decisions today. It's a real shame that Naylor didn't catch that pass in the end zone because that was beautiful. And I love that he for it. That's something that I really appreciate about Sam is he still takes these these risks and these big plays despite what may have happened last week and all the criticism that he's gotten. He took a couple of sacks that obviously you wish he didn't, but overall I think he played significantly better.
Yeah, I think so too. Hey, Steve, you said the experts giving us 8 wins. I remember Vegas saying 6.5. All right, there we go. My partner in crime from yesterday, Darren Campbell, is joining us. Darren, what do you think of the game?
A choppy second half.
I knew he wasn't going to be happy.
What's that? I couldn't hear you.
I knew you weren't going to be happy. I just knew it. I knew you were going to roll with the criticisms off the bat.
I rarely am.
I know.
If the Vikings had won 52-9 or whatever, like the Lions won today, I'd probably still find something to bitch about. But yeah, I did. I mean, good on the offense, particularly in the first half, for taking advantage of the penalties that extended some drives, and some of them questionable, sure, but I'm not going to apologize because we've seen that go the other way this year on us. So, we wouldn't have probably got 16 points without the help of the penalties, but the fact that the penalties didn't lead directly to a touchdown, we took the first downs and went down and scored on those. So like that. And then the second half, looking for the offense to set a tone around the first drive, and they go 3 and out, and then they go 3 and out again. But I don't know, like it's a decent win. I guess it's a win, so you can't really complain, but I guess I'm doing lots of complaining already. I thought the offense, like Darnold, I agree with Sal on Darnold's play today. Like you said, like there's going to be throws where he's going to put it in there. But I only counted like maybe a couple of maybe he shouldn't do that kind of throws. Whereas last week there was many more of those, and his pocket awareness and ability to escape pressure in the first half, and at times of the second half, was key to extending drives and getting us points and plays. Nick Mullins certainly is not going to be able to do that. So yeah, I thought a nice bounce back game for him. The defense did what I expected them to do against the Titans, except for those 2 drives in the second half when we kind of went full out pressure. I'd have to look to see if we sent 5 or 6 on the one that they hit on the big bomb or like on a couple of those big plays, but which seemed a little bit. It was interesting that Flores decided to do that when rushing 4 had been working pretty well all game, but he's the maestro. He does his thing. High risk, high reward sometimes. And they got burnt on a couple of those, but ended up winning by 2 scores. That's what I've been crying for several weeks now.
Mm-hmm. You have. Now, Freddie says Ginkel and Jones both with 2 sacks. Going over the box scores real quick. Andrew Van Ginkel led the team with 8 total tackles, 7 solo, 2 sacks, and 3 TFLs. Good for him. 2 QB hits as well. Patrick Jones was in second with 5 tackles, 4 solo, 2 sacks, 3 TFLs, and 5 QB hits. They both had a game today, and they did. And Jonathan Grenard follows up with 5 tackles, 4 solo, and 1 TFL. Byron Murphy with 5 tackles. Cashman with 4. Cashman also got a sack and a TFL. Good for him. And the Vikings had a grand total of 5 sacks today, which is outstanding.
I just want to address Anthony's comment. I don't think I said that I thought the penalties that are called penalties were not penalties. I just think that, they were questionable. Certainly Adam Archuleta, who was doing the game, didn't seem to like any of the penalties that were called, but he's a former safety, so he's not gonna like that. But I was talking to you during the game, Dave, that hit by Mike Brown on Jordan Addison. Mm-hmm. Was it a penalty or not? Did he launch? A very tough call, but I think if you're Mike Brown there, it happens quickly, but when you go in like he did, sort of leading with the head and hit a guy high like he did, when you could hit him a little lower, that's 75% of the time, I think the ref is going to call that a penalty. So I think maybe tough, again, bang, bang play. But and Addison's moving quickly too, everything happens quickly. But if he had done that on the midsection of Jordan Addison, I don't think it gets called, and you probably still knock the ball out, and it's on that play. But I didn't have an issue with them calling the penalty, really. I'm a Vikings fan, but I can see why the refs called it, and you see that penalty get called all the time in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they were acting like that was the most egregious penalty that they had ever called ever. They had never seen a bigger misjustice done ever. The reaction was insane from the announcers. And I will say I saw a lot of people on Twitter were having the same reaction, that they were getting bailed out by the refs. That wasn't a penalty, blah, blah, blah. I spent most of the day on Blue Sky. I was just seeing what the vibe was over there today, and it was completely different. And so I don't know, just an observation. Just an observation. It was a little weird.
Okay. Now, I thought he did hit him with his shoulder right here, but I also saw the head hit his face mask, smack his head back. Yeah. And it's the helmet to the head that should have drawn the flag, but who knows? It is, and Anthony said he left his feet. He launched. Mm-hmm. Now the one where there was, what was it? The horse collar call.
Yeah.
I don't think it was a horse collar. He had both hands over the shoulder pads and pulled back. Was it like a horse collar? Yeah, but technically it wasn't. But
it's interesting that their coach completely lost his mind over that penalty as well.
In the end zone. Mm-hmm.
Like they've never seen anything like it before. It was just, I don't understand the reaction there.
Hey, almost got pitched. I wish he would have. But anyways.
Second coach this season, right? To do that against the Vikings.
Yeah, LaFleur lost his mind in the Green Bay game and he was like halfway onto the field. And that was over because the ref didn't see him call a timeout or something like that. It wasn't even a penalty. So, I don't know. Happy they won 8-2. Not happy Green Bay won. And
no.
And like you were saying,
blocked that last second field goal that would have given the Bears a game.
I wasn't really following it at all. Like how far away was the field goal? Was it
that? I don't know.
Why isn't Giannis on here? I saw he's in the chat.
He's lost his voice.
Oh,
got a cold.
No. Oh, yelling at the TV?
Yeah, well, probably that too. But he'll be here next week.
I don't know why Jalen Naylor can't catch a pass.
Oh my God, ridiculous. That was so beautiful. That pass was so beautiful.
It was. Could have had the Vikings putting a 30 burger on them and putting the game away, but no. Can't have that. Vikings, we can't have that now.
Mm-hmm.
Can't beat the team by 2+ touchdowns. That's ungentlemanly.
Yeah, that's what it is. Manners.
Mm-hmm. It was a 46-yard attempt.
Oh, geez. Santos makes that in his sleep, at least against the Vikings.
Yeah, especially against the Vikings. But it is what it is. Hey, happens. Anthony says, yes, George Blatt, there was a missed face mask call on Darnold. Go figure. It is what it is. And Sam is the man. Let's go.
Very impressive run defense by the Vikings again this week. I know they're not playing the 2016 Dallas Cowboys, but still, the longest run for Tennessee had to be like 4 yards or something like that. Everything was getting stopped at the line of scrimmage or behind the line of scrimmage. And in the second half, Tennessee, to their credit, said, we're not bothering banging our head against the wall anymore. We're just going to throw the ball and see what happens. And it kind of worked for them a little bit. But
yes, it did. I know. Got to bring in Tyler real quick and reload Sal. Sarah.
Oh, it's okay. I got to hop off in 5 minutes. When did Naylor drop the other pass? I missed that.
The play after the post. It was back to back.
Oh, it was back to back? Oh,
yeah, it was on the sideline.
Really? Oh my God. Yeah. I did not. Hi, Tyler.
Hello. Man, let me tell you, I think the one thing that's going to stop the Vikings from becoming a Super Bowl contender is the Minnesota Vikings. They got bailed out a lot here today. I don't necessarily think all of the penalties against the Titans were unfair. I thought that first illegal contact against Jarvis Brownlee on that third down, I thought that was a little ticky-tack. Like, whatever, it happens. And then, like, 2 plays later, the Vikings hit Jordan Addison on a dagger for that first touchdown, which was huge. Like, I thought the Ty Chandler one was a little questionable because like 90% of his foot was in bounds, but it's tough. Like, they just keep shooting themselves in the foot. The pitch from Sam Darnold to Aaron Jones was good. Jones drops it, turnover turns into 3 points. That could have derailed things. They continue to try to find ways to derail things, and it's almost like you know how the Patriots for years they would make up ways that they were the underdogs just so they could like stay motivated. Like, everybody's against us. Dog, you're the Super Bowl favorites. Nobody's against you. Nobody is doubting you. You're the Super Bowl favorites. But they keep finding their own narrative to continue to stay motivated and keep pushing and pushing. Because one of the things you hear people talk about when they first win a Super Bowl is the first one is way easier than the second one, because the second one is like, oh, we've already done this. Yeah, we may know how to do it, but like there's this extra pressure. There's this added element of trying to continue to do it again. It almost feels like the Vikings are kind of in that sense right now, where they're creating their own narratives and they're putting themselves behind the 8 ball consistently and then having to like dig themselves out of a hole and continue to do that. It's honestly frustrating. I thought this was Darnold's best game in a Vikings uniform, like by far. His pocket management was tremendous. He was making great decisions down the field. I don't think he threw one interceptable pass the entire game. I will admit I did miss the first 2 drives in the third quarter because Odie decided to poop and I had no poop bags on the walk. So I had to double back and go get it.
Poor planning on your part.
I grabbed the leash with the poop bags built in, but I didn't look to make sure they were in there. That is my fault.
Can't be any snow on the ground yet, Tyler, in Minnesota? We
got the one snowfall. We got the one snowfall, but it was gone in like 36 hours because the ground is still warm. It was like 50 degrees outside. It's a really nice day. Big Raylan Dad asked about the 2.5 yards per carry. They benched Ed Ingram. Dalton Risner can't run block. He was getting blown up consistently in the running game. I think it was a mistake. I don't think I know more than the Vikings. I just completely disagree with them on replacing him. I thought Ed Ingram had turned a corner the last few games. I thought he was pretty good. And they made the choice. I'll see on the All-22 how good of a choice it actually was. But on live viewings, like that was a big reason why the Vikings weren't as successful in the running game, because Risner's not a good run blocker. I
was talking to Dave about it, but them making this decision, Tyler, you'd think that they must have been mulling this over for quite some time to make that decision. Like, this isn't something they just decided last week that, we just had it. I guess they haven't seen enough growth in Ingram's game. They feel he's stuck where he is or not getting any better, despite, I think, his PFF grades 2 weeks ago against the Colts was great. PFF again. And then last week, I think it was relatively solid. And
above their average threshold of 60 for the last 4 weeks and 5 of the last 6.
Mm-hmm. And you ran the ball 43 times and were pretty good at it. So I was a bit surprised that they did this too, considering what you're facing up front with Simmons and Sweat in this game.
Yep.
Maybe that was why, because we know how Dexter Lawrence just absolutely obliterated the interior of this Vikings defensive line. And I wonder if their decision was, hey, we know we're going to suffer in the run game, but we don't want to put Ed Ingram in a bad situation. We think Risner can handle it better from a pass blocking perspective. I can kind of see the merit there, but I don't like breaking up O-line chemistry. I don't like making that decision. If it's a one-game decision, like you're risking destroying a guy's confidence that you've started literally his first 41 games, let him work through all this stuff. There are so many layers and elements to it that you could argue on either side. I just disagree with the choice, and I think they should have wrote it out with Ingram. Now, if you want to replace him in the offseason, I think we can have that discussion. I think it's a very fair one. But where they're at right now, I thought it was a mistake.
Sal, you asked, where's Addison's dad with the Gatorades? What do you mean?
I was replying to Freddie. Freddie said, "Can somebody get Addison some Gatorade because of his cramps?" And I said, "Where was his dad at?"
Yeah, that's right. And he
It
did
was
go
only
out with cramps.
It was only sticking with that Ingram, but it was only like one spot. But I did catch after Grenard had made that tackle for a loss on Levis on the first offensive drive. They panned to the sidelines, and Ingram was over there giving Grenard a big high five with a big smile on his face. So at least in that instance, it looked like he was being a great teammate and taking his benching as well as he could possibly take it. Now let's see how he reacts to it.
We'll see. Hey, Eric. It may be ugly, but a win's a win, even if it comes from an ass of a cow, as Drew Bunting says over on Vikings Report with Drew, Ted, and Chris.
I got a feeling Drew will be salty about the second half performance of the Vikings offense.
Well, Metellus with that taking the wrong angle and buying them.
They took a lot of bad angles here. They got baited. And look, hats off to Will Levis. What a tremendous third quarter. He reminded me of Justin Herbert in that week 3 game last year where Herbert just got blitzed to oblivion. I think it was Flores' highest blitz rate ever, like 82.1%. But it didn't matter because the second a guy got in his face, Herbert let go of the ball and it just ended up being complete. It felt like that third quarter was exactly what Will Levis was doing because that 98-yard touchdown where Metellus took that bad angle, guy right in his face, just lays it up beautifully. The 51-yard touchdown the guy called back to Calvin Ridley, same thing. Like the 25, 30-yard post route to what I can't even remember the guy's name. It was like Bruce or Brown or something. Just lays it out and he beats Shaq Griffin. Like, Levis was on one in the third quarter and they couldn't capitalize enough because the Titans kept shooting themselves in the foot. And that's what I mean. Like, my big thing from this game is the Vikings keep putting themselves in holes when they don't have to. You can't keep doing that because you're not going to have teams that play this undisciplined every week that bail you out and that take away a touchdown because they had one guy lining up 6 inches too deep. Like, they got lucky. It was a practice squad right tackle. Like, they got to tighten things up and they have to win it on their own accord and not let the other people's performances dictate what happens.
Prince did it 3 times. 3 times. You'd think, and the last one was worse than the first 2. You could tell, like, and he's looking over at the sideline like I can't believe the refs called that. Like, how can you not learn? Where's your offensive line coach telling you to move up a little bit, buddy? But yeah, I did.
Hey, undrafted free agent brought in. Hey.
Sure.
All right, we gotta hop off, y'all. We're gonna hopefully go get Drew on a forever family. So she wanted to say thank you for welcoming her to the Vikings fandom. Her first month of freedom. Now she's a big Skolger.
All right. Well, good luck. Hope she gets it.
Yes, me too. We'll see you guys later. SKOL.
SKOL.
Hi, Sal. SKOL.
All right. Switching back to 3 screens. Bring Tyler up in the Sal's position. And now, it was, I saw here in the remarks, William Shields, I can't put lipstick on a pig. The Vikings are not a good team. Can they even make it into the playoffs? He doesn't know. We're 8-2. 7 games to go. It's going to take quite a bit for him to miss the playoffs with that.
Especially with, like, so you have the Vikings are the number 1 wild card right now at 8-2. Then you have the Washington Commanders. I think they are 7-4. Then you have the Packers who are 7-3. So that's your 3 wild card teams. The next one is like what, the 4-5 Niners or the 5-4 Niners? Like that's your next wild card team. Like, this isn't a good NFC.
No,
like this isn't a good enough one. Like, this Vikings team would have to have a catastrophic collapse in order to miss the playoffs, and I don't see that happening. They are what, They've lost one game on the road. They've lost one game at home. Nothing's like, this team is good. I'm not going to call them a great team, but they're good. Mm-hmm. When they get players like Sam Darnold to play really well, which he has. Today I thought it was his best game. The box score may not be super sexy, but goodness, was his decision making great. Was his pocket presence great? He wasn't making those bozo throws. Like, so impressed with him today. To answer Big Grillin' Dad's super chat. Look, I think he's gone the second Will Reichard's healthy, and that's just kind of the nature of being a kicker. I think he's been pretty good. He missed one extra point. I mean, it's a 33-yarder. That'll happen every once in a while, but he's made every other kick he's attempted. He's been good on kickoffs. There are only 32 jobs in the league, and he just might not be able to keep this one. I wouldn't keep him because I think Will Reichard's been really good, but
I agree.
Just sucks being a kicker.
But what he's doing is auditioning for a permanent job somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Because there's been enough bad kickers identified this season that he'll hook up with a team come next year. Easy. But
yeah.
Now, you're talking about records. When you get to, what is it, 8 teams, the 8th place team is the San Francisco 49ers with 5 wins, 4 losses. Then comes the Rams at 5-6, or 5-5.
Mm-hmm. Like, this Vikings team is good.
Mm-hmm.
They're just good.
Yeah. It's now, are they great? No.
Well, not lately.
Not lately.
At least the offense hasn't been, but I just wonder what's going on with, like when they get to the opponent's 30, or like, it just drives me crazy. It seems to be happening more and more every game in the past 5 or 6. But I'm just thinking about that second last drive where they make that nice play design, dump it off to Munt. He gets 14 yards or whatever. They're at, I forget where they were. Hand it off to Akers. He gets 4 yards. And then boom, negative run, lose 4, drop back to pass, sack, almost a fumble. And they just do that over and over and over lately, when just costing them points. And I don't know why. I don't know what the hell's going on. But that's one thing that if they could clean that up somehow, find a way to scheme people open on those sorts of situations and be more successful, they could be, I think, a great team, because great teams are able to punch it in and score points and touchdowns in those situations. They don't take negative plays. They don't take sacks on 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8. And we are doing that lately on offense, and it's killing us. Not killing us enough, because fortunately we've been playing the Colts, the Jaguars, and the Titans the last 3 games. But Detroit's coming up.
We swept the AFC South.
We did. Not a great division this year, but hey, nice to sweep them.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it is.
We beat the pants off the best team in that division too, which is great.
When they were fully healthy.
Almost beat Detroit last week. Should have beat Detroit last week. Now, looking at some of the box score stats, we had 32 minutes and 31 seconds worth of time of possession, which is good. Yards were roughly equal, 318 to 294. We blew them away in first downs with 24. Each team had a turnover. Let's speak of ours real quick. On that pitch to Jones, Jones should have had that one, in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's on Jones.
It looked like he took his eye off the ball. Basically, he was looking ahead before he caught it. Just a little bit of lack of focus. And with some of the Titans defenders and the way they were playing the run, even the way they can play the run, Jeffrey Simmons and Sweat and those guys, I can see why you'd want to take a peek at that, who's coming at you. But you can't have that. And just reset the things, like you say, and get us potentially set the Titans up for an easy score early in the game and get them rolling. Fortunately, they only got a field goal out of it, but it just been happening too often lately. Shooting yourself in the foot.
Yeah, big rail on that. Yards were equal only because of that 98-yard bomb. And when you look at total plays, we had 67, they had 55. And that's crazy on offense. Let's see, there was another one stat I saw that was weird. Rushing 33 attempts to their 19.
I'll be anxious to see what kind of Chicago team we see next week. I think that they're going to be pretty fired up, even though things haven't been going very well there lately, and looking to knock us down a couple of pegs, and we better be ready for them because their offense is kind of hit and miss, more miss lately than hit, but defensively, they are legitimately good.
Unless they want to try and get Eberflus fired. Tennessee had 13 penalties for 91 yards versus our 3 for 35. That's a lot.
It is a lot. Hard to win when you do that.
But yards per play. Vikings 4.7.
Not great.
No, not at all.
But I think there was they had the CBS broadcast showed the second half, first half splits on that though, and they were almost reversed. Like for both teams, like what their average yards per play was in the first half and the second half. We did quite well in the first half, but then the second half it just plummeted. One of those games where the Vikings couldn't quite put together a full, solid 60 minutes again. They'll move on and try to do that next week.
That's what it takes.
We do win 8-2.
Biggs ask, has Levis won the starting job?
Well,
Levis is the starter. The only reason why Rudolph played was because Levis had a hurt shoulder. Like, it's not a question. They are it's Levis's team at least through the end of the year. And then they'll kind of make a decision if they want to continue on.
And bring in Sam Darnold.
That's a real possibility.
It is.
It's one of the few teams that would make sense.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I keep hearing the Giants, but I doubt he goes back to New York.
It's a different organization, though. He might. Different media. I mean, same media market, but they don't have people covering the same beat of the Giants and the Jets. I mean, they'll have people like what do you call it? They'll have columnists that write about both, but they don't have beat writers that do both. So it'll be different, and we'll see. It's going to be really interesting. Like everything that's out there right now, everybody's just trying to speculate and guess where he's going to go. There's nothing concrete, absolutely nothing. So enjoy the ride. Darnold may come back next year. There is still a non-zero chance that happens. And I want people to keep that in the back of their head. We think McCarthy is the savior and he's going to be able to take this team to the promised land. He's never played a regular season snap. We need to stop crowning him. The Vikings may want to keep Darnold for one more year. And just keep that in the back of your mind.
Only if the price is right.
Exactly.
Bob
Everything, there's a lot of variables. He could end up sucking the rest of the year. But it's a non-zero chance, and we just need to keep that in the back of our minds and remember that. That's all.
If I'm Sam, and I'm not, but regarding that offseason decision that he's going to have, is I would be somewhat picky if I could about the situation that I go to, because I don't want to be going to a place where I have no weapons to throw to at all, and the offensive line is suspect or worse than suspect, like he had in previous stops. like, take a little bit less money to go into a situation where you got the coaching staff that you like, the personnel that you think you can succeed with, an offensive line that can protect you properly, and also an organization and coaching staff that somewhat believes in you and doesn't look at you as just a one-year type of guy. Now, that's a lot of stuff there that has to go right, and most of the spots that'll be looking for a quarterback won't be that. But I would not just take the biggest contract I'm going to get, and they're telling me I'm going to be the starter there. I want to set myself up to succeed, just like he did by signing with the Vikings at this end of this season. And I guess that's partly why, Tyler, you would say there's a non-zero chance. Certainly Darnold probably would like to come back here if the situation, if he was given a fair shot at being a starting quarterback. But I don't know if the Vikings are.
But if somebody offers him $40 million or more a year, 50, he may say, well, no matter what, I'm going. It sets up my family for life. We'll see. And there's always some team. There's more quarterback-needy teams than there are quarterbacks. So, and he's an average quarterback. So,
I think he's been well above average this year.
But anyways, Justin Jefferson, again, broke a record. He had 81 yards, 6 receptions. Jordan Addison had 61 yards on 3. Josh Oliver, 34 on 3. Trent Sherfield, 1 for 16. Johnny Mutt, 1 for 13. I missed the Mutt one. Brandon Powell, 1 for 13. And TJ Hawkinson, 2 for 13. Cam Akers, 2 for 11. And Aaron Jones, 1 for 4. I expected more TJ Hawkinson today, but it didn't happen.
I don't know, Dave and Tyler, like with the way Josh Oliver is catching the ball and been effective when they've been throwing to him, like it might be sort of depends on the week, which guy gets the heavy targets and what the coverage is like and how that's all looking. I think Oliver has been excellent with the pass catching in recent weeks, and there's no reason not to throw him the ball.
Well, I'm just happy he's still under contract next year as well, because I think they're a great pair.
They are, and I love it when the Vikings, at least when it works. I saw one snap today. It happens quite regularly, but they had Oliver taking on a pass rusher. It was either an edge or a defensive lineman one-on-one, and Oliver stoned him. Like the guy got.
That's awesome. Well, Tyler, what are you writing about?
I've actually started doing some of my NFL draft work, starting with injured players that are done for the year, because you can get a full scouting report on those guys. I'm also going to be writing about this game. I'm going to be writing about Sam Darnold's really good performance and just the fact that the Vikings are their own worst enemy. They really are. I'm also probably going to write again about how Kwesi Adofo-Mensah is probably executive of the year for everything that he did this offseason, considering he still had some constraints with over $60 million in dead cap, and how they've navigated that, signed really good, impactful players that fit what the Vikings want to do. Like, he and the coaching staff are the main reason why they're 8-2. Being a general manager is, I don't know, I'd surmise just from the outside looking in, it's only about like 20% identifying talent and 80% listening to the right people who are better at identifying talent than you are. And when you have a traditional football guy, you can start to get these intrusive thoughts that I know more than you because I'm in the big seat. And then you can maybe not listen to people who are maybe smarter than you and have a little bit more knowledge on a certain player or prospect. And then you make the wrong decision. Like the 2021 NFL draft 3rd round for the Vikings. That kind of happened with Rick Spielman. So I think Adofo-Mensah has learned a lot from that 2022 draft. I mean, it kind of is what it is. Some of it was under his control. Some of it wasn't. And he put the systems he wanted in place. He got the right people in place and has seemingly turned it around in a lot of different ways. And I think executive of the year makes a lot of sense for him right now. I mean, who else could it be?
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Also want to congratulate Harrison Hitman Smith once more on his 36th interception of his career.
Oh, that's
Guy
right.
keeps getting it done.
Mm-hmm. Building up that Hall of Fame resume. A Super Bowl would help tremendously.
It would.
It would block it in.
I don't know. They had that graphic about all the other guys who have the 20-plus sacks and 30-plus interceptions, and Rodney Harrison, Barber, blah, 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 blah. They're all in the Hall of Fame, except Harrison, who's still playing. So I don't know if everybody on that list had won a Super Bowl, but they probably had. Can't remember.
Any last words there, Darren? We'll wrap this up.
Oh, well, we're on to Chicago. Let's end this 3-game road trip with a 3-0 record, and yeah, happy with the win today. Not happy with some of the stuff that happened, but that's football.
That's football, and that's cool. Chicago next week, November 24th. We have Thanksgiving after that, and which should be fine. Following game is December at home against the Cardinals. Hopefully we'll see what goes on then. Tyler, any last words?
I'm excited to get to the tape tomorrow. We're gonna find out a lot. Otherwise, no. SKOL Vikings. You have to win. You have to find ways to win, and they found ways to win despite their obvious flaws. And they got a little help from outside sources. I will say the hit on Jordan Addison, that's a flag. I don't care who you are. You can't launch against a defenseless receiver. If he does not launch, you can easily argue that's not a flag. But because he launches, that guy's in midair, flag every single time. I don't care if it's in the red zone. I don't care if it's on the 50. You have to call that because you have to. The whole point is to keep players safe. That's why the rule's in play. You can't just not call it because it's on 4th and goal. Plus, I think he hit the helmet. Like, it's close. But you launch, flag. If you don't think that's a flag, get the rule changed. Because by rule, it's a flag. No question about it.
Hey, it is what it is. Everybody catch us tomorrow night when Tyler will come on with the real Forness show, and we'll break down this game even more. Darren, we'll see you next weekend for 2 old bloggers. And in between, we'll have Sal once again doing her Vikings lifestyle stuff on Scolders and Spice. And everybody, Vikings win, Vikings win, Vikings win. What do we say, gentlemen?
SKOL Vikings.
SKOL Vikings.
SKOL Vikings. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell, and share this episode with your friends and even your enemies. We'd love it. Thanks for watching Vikings First and SKOL. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network, and we appreciate each and every one of you. SKOL.